All right, how are you doing? My name is Franklin Cruz. I'm a real estate investor and real estate developer. I make these videos so number one, you guys don't get scammed by somebody who is not in the business. There's a lot of people that talk about being in the business, and there's another thing of people actually being in the business. So let's get started. The selling process in working with investors, newbies or investors, what is the difference? What does that actually look like? Well, that's a great question. So we're going to jump right into that. So there's a difference between a newbie and then what I call a true investor. A newbie may be somebody that the rule of thumb is, look, if they are not going to the property and making this process simple for you. So the process should be simple. You know, for us as true investors, we assess the property, we make you a true offer. We're very transparent. I show you the comps, show you everything. And we close quickly. It could be days, months. You choose the date. Whatever works for you. Everybody goes through stuff. I've had people that said, we sign a contract and they're going through a divorce and they got to get citizenship from Canada. It's a true story. It just happened to me on a property on 9th Street. And then, so we're paying her a little bit of money now so she could finish all her paperwork and then closing everything out in 6 months from now. Right? Or we have the fast ones that they need money right now. And once it clears title, once we know that you're the actual owner and you're legitimate, then we can move forward. And then also, there's no repairs or agent commissions. So you're getting the maximum amount of profit with the least amount of costs on your side. And that's huge. So again, keep the process simple. We inspect the property, and then afterwards, we give you money. I don't know how easier I can get on the deal. All right, next one. How do I know if an investor's offer is fair? That is a great question. A legitimate buyer will explain how they calculate their offer based upon repairs, comps, and the market trends. That's why a lot of times I'm bringing an actual comp report. I'm bringing the 40-page comp report, walking you through your property. What is the value? What does it look like? How much is your property minus the cost that I'm seeing, minus the repairs, minus certain issues, and then we're creating a win-win-win scenario. Look, bottom line, we're true investors. We have to make money too, right? And you do too. And us making income and you making income is a win-win. It allows us to have better systems. It allows us to pour out education like we're doing right now. I'm doing my best to educate sellers and true investors and true developers in a field that I have seen through the last 20 years there's not a lot of transparency here at all. So I want to bring transparency, and that's why I'm showcasing exactly how we do it and what you should be looking for too. If you're a seller of land or home, this is what you should be looking for. Okay. So are there scams, and how should I watch out for when I'm selling to an investor? Yes, they are scammers out there, 100%. So this is what you're looking for. First of all, it's not going to be somebody with a COVID mask and glasses, okay? But it is possibly going to be somebody who's calling you on the phone. So be cautious of those investors that pressure you to sign without even visiting the property. Okay, or explaining a deal, and they're always insistent on not even evaluating the property at all. You've got to make a decision upon facts, not your pressure. You will have some investors that will keep pressuring you. And now, I used to be one of those guys back in the day. I used to be that way, and then I changed and transformed, because then I saw the damage it does to sellers when you're just trying to get a deal over the phone. The deal doesn't work out. You call them back, and then you're like, hey, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. And that person, what I discovered was all sellers do is they are spending the money where the minute that the property is actually signed, they spend the profits in their head, right? And this is a big deal because not only they're spending the money, they're also telling their family, they're telling their loved ones, like this is huge, right? And so when the deal goes sideways, which most do if they're over the phone, if they're strictly over the phone, what they do is they'll lock it up, then they'll inspect it, and then they'll reduce the price. And then that's just a huge letdown. And that's what gives a lot of newbie investors a horrible name for themselves. Not true investors, because that's not what we do. That's not what I teach. And if you even think about calling yourself a true investor and you're doing that, then that's kind of why I have copywriting on the word true investors. So anyway, so what we do is we teach. We actually teach. Hey, I'm teaching you, here's the comps, here's the appraisal, here's the value of your property, minus all the costs, or here's your piece of land. This is why it probably is not worth $1 gajillion that you think it's worth, because it has wetlands and we can't build on wetlands. It's not buildable. So little things that we show transparency, and then we just work out a win-win. And that's it. That's how we do it. All right, next one. So what are the tax implications of selling a distressed property? Great question. I'm going to answer it. So taxes depend on factors like capital gains, or whether the home is your primary residence or piece of land. And I personally, I'm not a tax consultant. I'm not an attorney. I've never stayed at a Holiday Inn to get one of those licenses. So I would just connect and contact a tax professional to ensure that you understand the situation. Just talk to them. You're fine. All right. So how can I sell my home if it has code violations or unpermitted work? Great question. And it sucks for you. It's like, it's horrible, but at the end of the day, it does happen. Even sometimes you didn't even know that there was permit issues or any kind of issues or violations, and now you got to make it work, right? So how do you do that? Yes, we personally, as true investors, we navigate through that. We navigate through the legal issues and work with you and the local municipalities and authorities to handle those violations and to get it done as quickly and as cost effective as possible. Sometimes there's going to be a cost, sometimes there's not. But we don't even know, and you don't even know, just because you just found out about it as well. So that's how we want to move forward. So again, that's why we go more into the educational route and then discovery route, and then what is the amount? Because sometimes we can negotiate and sometimes we can't. But at the end of the day, it's got to get done. Tell me what question or answer that really stood out for you the most. Where did you get educated on? What was it that kind of came up for you during the scenario that you're like, Franklin, this was awesome. Thanks so much for just your time listening, and we'll meet you on the other side. All right, bye.